Bosh. That's like you. Cory, got you on, mate. Second Forever Better podcast. And wanted to get you on, mate, just to have a chat and big you up.
Not big me up too much.
Kiss your ass. Yeah, I mean, like, massive talent. And the reason I got you on is, like, what we're really big on is showing the next generation, the kids, that, you know, you work hard, even if you're from around here, you can do whatever you want, and you getting on the Welsh elite squad.
Yeah, Welsh elite squad. There's like a few stages of it. You got the development, which is like the young people.
Yeah.
And then the elite squad is like your seniors when your head guards off, and 18 plus normally.
Building towards Commonwealth Games.
Commonwealth Games, yeah.
When is that? 2024?
2020. No, next 2024 is next year the Olympics, and then it's 2026 Commonwealth Games in Australia. Hopefully, there's a lot of things going on with that at the moment.
Is it?
As you can see, yeah.
Politics.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is that when I was boxing at a fairly decent level, nowhere near your level, but there was nobody above me that had done it before. And when I was on, I think I spoke about this with Curly on the last podcast. Who was that guy? I didn't have anyone that I just didn't, almost like subconsciously didn't believe that it was possible. I kept thinking I'm going to get found out that I'm just like from Johnstown against, you know, on teams with these lads from big cities and stuff. But you like never met somebody so sort of determined and committed. Which is kind of how I am now. The way I do things now, probably the last 3 years, and I've got this big regret, which I can't change. That if I could have that mentality I've got now, when I was like your age or a bit younger, you know, I could have done a lot more in boxing and in football, I suppose. But I can't change that. But you're just sort of blessed, really, that you've got it from somewhere. We'll have a little dig into where that might come from. But yeah, you're showing the likes of other kids around here that there's no reason why not. You know, guys, if you put the work in, mate, which you do. So you got the likes of young Chase, Kean. You've got, that's just in boxing, but you got loads of kids around here.
Football players.
Yeah, loads of kids. Like when I was younger, some kids used to go for trials from around here. Now, this kid's getting signed up left, right, and centre. You got Davy Pemberton. He comes down here, Davy.
Everton football.
Yeah, he's at Everton, like established. Things are changing, and it's only for. But you know, like I say, it's you're sort of you lads like yourself, Davy, smashing the way through. That it's going to success breeds success. So like we've had like my generation tickling with it.
Yeah.
You've had you lot sort of possibly see where others have got to and like pushing a bit further and getting there, and then it will start to filter out like a pyramid. Next thing will be a lot of people happening. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. The thing for me, it's very easy to fall off though. You know, like it's easy. You get to like when you're younger, it's you know, you've got someone like for your mum, dad, for example, like when you're 10, 11, 12. And you can, you know, when you're at that age, you got someone who's pushing you a bit more because
you need a little nudge, don't you?
Yeah, you need a little nudge. But then when you get to like the age, you'd say 17, 18, which is like, you know, where I am now. You know, people start discovering the partying and going out and what that's like. You know, and if you can get, in my opinion, if you can get past that hurdle of getting past going out, partying, and if you can get past that, then
it takes a strong head, like
and you can go up, literally just go up from that.
Yeah,
and it's a lot easier then. And for me, I've never done it, so I've never put myself in the situation to go out and stuff like that because I feel like, you know, I wouldn't say it's a worry, but I'd say it's more of a
there's a temptation there.
Yeah, there's a temptation, but you know, you don't want to be doing it because my head's so like, you know, it's tunnel vision really. Yeah, and I think that's what it's got to be. But you got a lot of people.
You got plenty of time for all that. Do you know what I mean? You got plenty of time down the line. Yeah, down the line, and you know, I think for me, seeing a lot of talented boxers locally who didn't do anything.
I can name
footballers. Some footballers I've played with, you think he's definitely making it. And for think of one guy now, and the next thing that you see them like following a bin wagon around, putting bins, and I'm thinking of that now. But it's not that that's a bad job or anything, but you look and you go, what happened? And it's that
could have been like
find that, and then they'll be in a pub now talking about how good they could have been, and like that's what we're trying to do, is get people out there so they don't have to talk about it, they can do it, and then it's sit in the pub after if they want and tell them what they did, not what they could have been. Do you know what I mean? Maximize. It's all about maximizing potential.
I feel like that's how it is right now as well. When I got I was just saying it to you then before you started. Like before I go out, there's so many people who like they say to me like, make sure you keep your head screwed on, make sure you do this, make sure you do that, because like you say with your story, like it's like regret from them that they could have been. It's not even with boxing; it can be with anything like cooking and literally anything. Like they could have done anything themselves. So they try and inflict it on the younger generation, which is good in a way because you need people like that. But it's one of them really, and some people have it and some people don't have it with the tunnel vision. Some people go off track so easily.
Yeah, but I think I forgot what I was going to say then. You set me off track. But with you, where do you think that comes from? Is it a case of like you started, you were pretty decent naturally? I'm trying to tell your story for you here, mate. But or is it a case of like from early doors you were like, this is where I want to go, or did you like become successful and then the motivation snowballs from there?
I wouldn't say. I'd say started when I was like 7, 8, because I was very small in school. Still small now. Yeah. But it's like I started.
You always lived in Punky, Ross.
Punky, around up there. Yeah, just Ross area.
Yeah. Well, people on here won't know where you're from. Yeah.
But it's when I started, it was more just to like get me doing something. I guess I started with kickboxing at first, actually. Yeah. And I went there, and I remember a story actually where I was more better with like the punching side of things, and when the kicking, and they put me in. I went like, I don't know if it was, I think it was literally just once, and they put me in with this girl to like ease me into it. Like she's a bit older than me and stuff, but I was good with her hands and that. But she was quite experienced with it, and she was just like, she knew what she was doing, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. But yeah, and then I went to boxing, and went straight over because the coach himself thought I was better with, a lot better with that side of things.
So where did you go first boxing?
Brumbo, I went first. Brumbo Boxing Club.
Was that because you were like 8, 7, 8?
Yeah, I tried. I did try that.
Butch doesn't have until 10, and I guess so many people asking me for their kids, and it's like we have them at 10. But I understand why Butch does. I mean, he's busy enough as well. But the kids are starting to do things a lot earlier now.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, so you went to Brumbo. How'd you get on there?
In Brumbo, how did I get on there?
I can't remember now.
Well, no, I did go to Brumbo, and there's a few like familiar faces there now. Obviously it's not a gym now, but like when I was there was a lot of people who like drifted off to the same park. So I still know a lot of people like from Brumbo who did well. Like there was different people.
I think Kean's gone back.
Kean's got
now, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's to a place with.
I think he's in Evolution. I think Evolution Boxing. He's with Nigel Brett.
Nigel,
like
that's
Nigel,
it.
Yeah. But for me, I went in there. It was still small. Still, obviously, when you start, you're not good here. Like
no.
It's like just all learning, and it's whether you stick at it or not. Skipping like with my legs up in the air like a girl.
But like
around. Like I was just taking everything in like a sponge, really. And then I think it was Pete was the coach at the time there, Pete Buckley, and he said that he could see something straight away. He said I was good. He said to my mum, quite like natural with my movement and stuff. And Jerry, he was the one who egged me to keep going. Sparred. I think my first fight was for Pete in Liverpool. 26.5 kilo.
26 kilo.
For anyone who
I
knows
got a dumbbell on the floor there, 27.
Literally 20, that's what I'm saying.
That kettlebell, red and black one, was 32 kilo. That's heavier.
I think I was 9, 10 years old as well, literally. 9, 10, that's small for that age.
26
And you see some people like girls, especially 9-10-year-olds, are like same height as me now, and I'm still small. But I had my first
fight. It doesn't matter with boxing, does it? It's the thing.
No.
Like people think you've got this boxer needs to be this big. And anybody can box. It's all
definitely. Don't matter your size and stuff.
And you're at an advantage if you are smaller. But yeah, sorry.
That's all right. I went. What was it? My first fight in Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's interesting though because the first guy I had a skills bout with on there, and that very person who I had my first skills bout with is now. He's just gone pro, and he was on the England team not long ago.
All right.
So we literally like
we like people might not understand how, because when you have that first fight, you're in a pool of like hundreds of kids that you could have your first fight against, but you both become elite. Well,
I cried before my first fight as well.
Cried.
Yeah. I was crying in the back. I had to literally get pushed out.
I used to shit myself. Like, I remember Bush telling me about you because you're confident now. And rightly so, but
a lot more confident now than
he said he's a nightmare. He said we couldn't get him in, and Adam was telling me, and I was like, but I remember going on the way to boxing fights, sitting there with Bush on the way to Liverpool, Manchester, pretending to be like confident and sound. Inside, I'm like, I want to open this door, roll out on the motorway. Do you know what I mean? It's like I want this car to break down.
I know.
As we're getting closer, other lads like, we're nearly there. Bush, I'm thinking, I don't want to get there. Next thing you're there, and you're like, but that feeling after the fight.
Yeah, it's
whether you win or lose, really, as well. It's you can't buy it, and you think I'm not going to be nervous next time. I enjoyed that. Next time, shitting myself again.
Yeah, for me, it's the first bell. When you're like in there, obviously you're nervous, and it's what's crazy is as soon as the bell goes for the first round, it's like you disappear, and you're just like it's crazy. You go straight into the zone, like, and I've learned that a lot more now, I guess. But like going back to that, going back from Brumbo. Like building up fights, I wasn't having many fights there, but a part of that was because of my size. Like I was
hard to match.
That's a big part of it as well. Matching people pulling out, it's a nightmare, especially for like coaches to match boxers and if they're putting a show on and stuff. Like Butch put shows on all the time.
You get trying to find a few 26 kilos, 10-year-olds.
That's how it was for me. Trying to find a 10-year-old who was 26 kilo. It is tough. Like
Thailand or something.
They have to fly people over. And like, it's mad. And then I can't remember. I had one more fight.
Chase is going to be like that. Chase is like small lad as well. So and he's coming on. I think when you're at that age, as soon as you start turning 10, 11, start going to the Welsh Championships. The pool's so small. You're there already, aren't you? Just because of numbers.
Yeah, I think it was. When did I move to Butch? Speaking of Butch, I had my first fight with Pete, my actual fight, because I had the skills first, which is the first round just jabbing, which obviously. First round jabbing. The second round is like, I think it's 1-2s or something like that. And then the last round you can go do whatever you want, basically. But there's no winners, no losers in that. So when I think back to it now, it's like, why would you be nervous for that? But when you're a kid, it's a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you get punched in the face.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I say it a lot that, especially you get people commenting or they text me about if the boxing I think this is going to happen. I think you should do this, and I'm thinking if you haven't been in a ring to spar, everyone can hit a bag. Wait till there's someone on the other side and you're looking at timing and distance, and if you miss that shot, it's a complete different ball game. And I think everybody should have a little bash. Do you know what I mean? Should go and spar once or twice, just have that feeling. Like something primal built in, I think, as well. You're not going to get hurt. You know what I mean? There's people there to look after you. But So you went over to Butch.
Yeah, I went over to Butch, and he's seen it himself because I lost my first actual fight after that for Pete, and then I can't remember if I had another one for him. I'm not sure, but I know I moved to Butch quite early, and then the second I went to Butch, he got me a. He seen me and he knew I was ready. I'd had a fight already.
Yeah.
I think he had a show like the 2 weeks after. For him, and he had a show on in Flexies. That's been knocked down now.
I know.
Flexies, that's what you used to box as well.
Flexies. Box. That's what I was going to say. A minute ago, we didn't used to have the skills fights like we have now. I think they're really good. From being in the corner with the young lads
as well.
Really good. But for me, it's like I think it's like 11 or 12 first fight in real. Took a clutch load of people around here down. Got the video there on like old video. I'm about that big, and there's no like just standing towards the toe, just like scrap, absolute mess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like the fittest person would win. So there's no skills involved.
Yeah.
Well, you literally, if you could whoever could throw the punches for
it's only like minute rounds, isn't it?
Yeah, minute rounds. But yeah, it's a lot better now the way they do it with that jab, the 1-2. But
yeah. Where was it? Where was I?
Went to Flexies.
Yeah, I went to Flexies, and I boxed a guy from, I think it was Donington. I think my first fight was. I forgot his name now. He was like Charlie Sykes or something like that. His name was. And
I used to remember all the names on my record.
Yeah, I remember them because I have my medical book a lot now because of all the boxing I do. So I do flip back and have a look. But I beat him on the show. I think that was on like 30 kilo.
Yeah.
And then I had like a rematch, and then I had a few other fights with Butch then, and I was that's when I started coming along then.
Yeah.
But the confidence, I didn't have a lot of confidence then, definitely not until the championships.
Confidence, is that just when you're about to fight, or was it daily, sort of in the gym and that?
I would say, I'd say both, to be honest. I wasn't I wouldn't class myself as now.
You're confident lad now.
Yeah.
It seems to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
when you come in the gym, it's because you deserve to be confident. You know, We're talking earlier on with a mate and was saying about being confident, and like confidence comes from doing things. So like if you're confident about something that you haven't done or achieved, it's arrogance then, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when you've done things and you achieve and you get confidence from that, you deserve to be confident.
Yeah.
But so you're still nervous before fights.
Oh no, yeah, still. You get, everyone does. If someone says that they're non-nervous before a fight, they're lying. Like, for me anyway, like I can't understand if someone doesn't get like a bit of
like a bit of for a football match, just get himself worked up for that. And then it got to the point where I wasn't getting nervous before the match, and then my performance, and that's when I stopped. I thought, you need to. If I'm not nervous about it, it means I don't care. Or I'm not excited. Or, do you know what I mean? I really don't want to win. So you think, why am I doing this? So you should never lose that.
No, and then that was the confidence builder for me was, well, a little bit anyway, because I'd class myself as a shy kid at that time, not very outgoing, I would say. And then Butch said about the championships then that were coming around, and that's when I was like, all right, that's a bit of a step now. And obviously, I think my first championship.
Which are basically just another boxing match somewhere else in the country. If you strip it back, but you think championships, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's for a bigger thing, isn't it? You know, it's for winning something instead of becoming number one in Wales for your weight, really. Which, you know, at the time, it's a good thing. But I think my first title was 32.5 kilo, and I went down there, and I remember thinking I was in the room the night before, and obviously I was a kid then, but I remember the feeling. See, it's still there. Like I remember thinking, I'm good. Like you were saying earlier, I'm gonna get found out. Yeah, I'm boxing someone from Cardiff, you know, somewhere different, nowhere from home. And I was shitting it. You know, that's how it goes. But I went in there and I actually, you know, and I won. Yeah. And then when I won the final, and I didn't just.
When you say you won, then I can feel the feeling that you had. You know what I mean? When you say you won, I can instantly feel that feeling.
Yeah.
It's like you're absolutely buzzing, but it's like relieved. You're so relieved, and that it's just brilliant. When you know, people these days talk about taking part a lot. Yeah, winning is.
There's no
winning
is
brilliant. Yeah, winning is brilliant. That's why we do things like, you know, it can be good. You can be a good loser, but don't accept losing. Do you know what I mean?
You know, work back at it. Yeah,
we do it to win, and then when you win, that feeling is. You can't beat it, can you?
No, you can't. When I won, it was like, say, I don't know whether I was buzzing at the time, but then like when you get out, you know, and you've won it, that was when I was like, Christ, I'm obviously you're young, so we're not as long rounds, but at the time I was thinking, Christ,
they feel long.
Yeah, they feel long. No one knows how long a minute is until you start boxing. Jesus God. But when you're in there, I was thinking to myself, I've won, but then I got out and I was like, I'm number one in Wales for a weight, that's a good thing. Yeah. And then off that's when I had that year for me was probably the year that just shot me up. Because I won the championships. I couldn't go in the British that year because it was too small. There was no one in my weight for it.
So you're British champion by default?
Basically, kind of, yeah.
Probably the best at your weight.
Yeah, at the time I would say, but there was no one there. But, you know, and then I had a Wales versus England then, which is weird. There was no one in the British, but then I had an international fight, but they had to put me up a weight because I was too small. Yeah. And then I won that as well. and then I just started winning. I was winning these international fights and I was representing Wales.
And how old then, sorry?
I think it was like, when did I start with Wales? It was 13 or 14, I think it was. And I was still like 37 kilo then, and that's small. But I was a bit skinnier then. It was decent size for that, I guess. But it was, I was winning. Obviously, I had a few losses in there as well, and it's not a nice feeling at all, because you say there's no better feeling than winning, but there's also no feeling like losing.
No.
Like, for me, especially me, because when I lose, even now, like, it takes me, like, I would say a day to maybe even a week sometimes, depending on the occasion, to actually get over it, and
with
keep
you
going.
Now, every fight's big pressure as well. Not big pressure, because you're going to these tournaments where you're at a level where you're kind of new to that level. You want to win, but you're not expected to win every time. No, when you're fighting against certain things, but the way you're going, you're going to be at a point where every fight's, you know what I mean? Must win and that. I won my first 9 fights and then lost on my 10th. You know what I mean? And I kept thinking I'm going to get found out. But then to you, like, even for me, then you won them first 9. They don't matter when you lose. No. That's what I'm saying. That's how it feels. Isn't it? Wounded, but what carried on. Won the 12th sort of thing. Yeah. You just crack on. Yeah.
You just push through. Like, I haven't won every fight.
How many fights have you had?
I think I've had 49 or 50. Just coming up to 50 now. Yeah. Which is a lot of fights for my age, I guess. And there's still, this year, I've still got loads of tournaments coming up abroad. I've got going to Tenerife for a training camp. Yeah. And then before that, I'm going, I think it's Greece. And then we've got, there's different tournaments towards the end of the year, like Croatia, Romania. So I get about, it's good for travelling as well, especially now. Oh, yeah. It's really good. But like I say, going back to the losses thing, as soon as when you lose, it's like, you forget about your positive things.
I still think about that 10th fight now, and that was nearly 25 years ago.
Yeah, still holds you in your sleep.
Nearly 25 years ago, and I'm like, I should have slipped that. It's not that big. But we talked. We kind of get into the point where we're talking about the Welsh one a lot, but there's big stuff before there. So you're at the miler. Which I think it's a good time to talk about Bush, really. We could talk. We could talk about him all day, though, couldn't we? It's like what a man like.
Butch deserves his.
I don't even know where to start. You know what I mean?
For me, Butch does deserve his rep. Like, I put random stuff up on Facebook sometimes, just thanking him, because for me, I don't think he will. As a person, I don't think he will realise how much he's done for, not just for me, because he's done enough for me on his own. Like, with my mentality, even with my boxing, taking me around all these places. But for the younger generation over the years, like even you when you were in the 50s,
I think, you know what I mean? I think he's been doing it 46 years, right?
Jesus,
46 years, right, Ben? And it used to be, when I first started, it'd be a Tuesday and Thursday night, but I think for probably the last 15 years, that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, isn't it? Yeah. Then what people don't see is that it's the Friday, Saturdays, most weekends, not a couple of weekends a month. On a Friday or Saturday, you'll be travelling around all the North Wales coast, Anglesey, sort of Liverpool, Manchester, down to South Wales. The kids in his car. He's footing the bill. He's paying for all that fuel. You don't realise as a kid, I used to just jump in the car and he'd take me down to real sparring on a Sunday afternoon.
And you're a kid then as well.
God, you don't understand at the time how much he's doing. But I come in probably halfway through his coaching career. So how many? I reckon I tried to sort of work it out roughly before, and I think Butch has had interactions, so kids either come in once or they come in loads of times, and he's had that conversation with them when they come in, and he says, "Do you drink?" And every time I go back now and I hear him talking to the new kids, and they come in and I hear him, and it makes me smile inside. Yeah. Do you drink? No. Do you smoke? No. You got a girlfriend? No. He says, what the bloody hell do you do? He says, doesn't he? Yeah. But it's brilliant. I think he's helped or influenced maybe 10,000.
He's done a lot.
I think 10,000 kids. You might have to see that if you go there for 3 years, years, how many kids have come and gone?
That's what I mean. That's the. I think that's the sad part.
We're talking 46, 47 years.
Yeah.
But it used to be a busier gym when I first started. I used to have the old place. And all of Plasmatic, Kevin, Pennakai, Johnstown, Rabban, Fan.
Yeah, they all still come through. Even Bala,
yeah.
But you gotta like for me, for him, like with a coach, the worst thing is for him, I guess. Like you can easily let him down as well. Do you know, like the kids, like they come in. Like I know a lot of kids who have come in there. They've been like, oh, one of the best gloves, blah blah. And to be fair, so he literally says like, you don't know, because he knows now. He's got the experience. He'll say like, you don't know if you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
So don't go buying the best gear. Just have have a feel for it for the first few weeks, because he knows himself. Kids will do it.
Yeah.
But they'll hit the bag for the first few sessions, and then they'll spar. And then that's when they'll spar. They'll get it, and then they won't like it all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's he knows the crack basically, because he's been around for so long and he's done a lot for me.
He's basically managed kids and people and dealt with their parents, who I think a lot of them with boxing are really good, all like working class. He deals with them really well, but he would have had a lot of difficult parents over those years, which he's having to manage. And this is when we're talking about this, right? Butch personally hasn't, I'm talking for him here, but I think he hasn't received a penny for him. No one's paid him to do anything. He's right to his show. They give him a bit of petrol money for him taking that, right? But you're not paying for his time at all, right? And I am always thinking, because I love it down the boxing gym, but times are different now, right? Because the cost of living is so high now, right, that most men have to be working all hours.
Yeah.
And my wife has to work full time just for us to be comfortable. Whereas back then, I don't speak out of turn here, but back then, it was more. It wasn't like that. So people could do a lot of more volunteer work. Going forward, is the big worry for kids is that volunteers are they're hard to come by because everyone's just so busy. 100 mile an hour with life, trying to keep their head above water with bills. You're a gas and electric bill, something like £250 a month. Gas and electric.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it's like you haven't got. If I was to come into money or win the lottery, the first thing I'd do is buy Butch, build a brand new state-of-the-art sort of boxing gym locally, and that'd be my job. Volunteering, if you like, but that'd be my job. But in an ideal world, there's more hours in the day. I wish there was more hours in the day, but I think people like Butch are going to be hard to find going forward, and that knock-on effect to kids. Yeah, definitely. Do you know what I mean? It's a struggle.
I realise it a lot more now, though. Especially like you saying about like the petrol and that. Like when I won that championships and he took me down to Cardiff, it's like you just jump in the car. Like you don't. Now I'm like the age I am, and I haven't got it worked out myself. Like only just started paying things for myself. Obviously I still get help here and there with things, but like when I think about it now, not even just with Butch, like my mum and dad, like how much they do for me, like because I'm at the age now where I'm starting to realise how much people actually help you with money and things like that. And like you've got me thinking now how much petrol money has Butch spent on me taking me back into Cardiff and taking me to sparring and taking me to all these little squads and.
Imagine if I said to you now, like
even Portugal, he took us there as well.
Yeah, if I said to you now, oh mate, just give me a lift to Rill. Your initial thought was like, shit, how much that's going to cost you? It's going to cost you about 30-40 quid, that is. And you'd be like, that's what Bush was doing for us, just taking me just to Spa on a Sunday afternoon.
For that experience, I
do think that there should be a statue of Butch up in Kevin,
like a Rocky statue,
it's like I said, hopefully. And we've got to speak up about sort of Adam and Malcolm.
They still put the time in.
Over the years, Fitzy obviously, and Steve's down there now.
And
there's been a lot of coaches come and go and help out where they can. But Bush has been that anchor, and everybody else has been trying to help out where they can. But yeah, you doing what you're doing, mate, I think it's going to have a knock-on effect to some other kids coming through at the miler and anywhere else locally, really. So you boxed with the miler, successful, and then you're touching on like Welsh squads then, not touching on the Welsh squads.
I've had like...
And that, you got them from 14. You're only, how old are you now? 18?
18, yeah.
Yeah. So just the last year or two is when you've had your...
Yeah, I've had a lot of international fights now. Yeah. Like I think I've represented Wales, I think like 20 times now, something like that. You know, and that, for international fights, that is a lot. Like you got, obviously England's a lot bigger, but you know, with Wales, it's more of like a... for me, it's more of a privilege to like represent Wales because they're a smaller nation. Yeah. You know, they do. You know, you don't see many. You do see successful Welsh people, of course, like rugby, darts players, you know, things like that. But like, it's very rare. Like you see England everywhere. You know, but Wales, like when you do really well, that's something I want to do as well. Like, want to do so well, even like for Wrexham as well. Like, you don't see many people coming out of certain places. Do you know what I mean? And that's what drives me a little bit as well.
Well, yeah, you see with Jake Dodd at the Commonwealth, you know, did really, really well, and the whole town got behind him, and then like he kind of broke through as well, and then other kids locally, it is possible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's possible.
It's what we're talking about. But you got like Joe Kozagi, and you got big stars now like Gareth Bale. We do produce them, but just in fewer numbers because England will produce 6 or 7 of them, where we produce one just because of numbers. So we can, mate. But so what's the plan? And you're all full steam ahead for 2026.
My plan is...
How do you get there? How do you get to that?
So
you've got to qualify for the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, you've still got to qualify, but right now I have just last September I think it was. I had like a contract. Yeah. And that means you train full time every week in Cardiff, which is, you know, it's a bit of a ball like for me because I live up here. Some of them they live down there, so 20 minutes from there.
Yeah, you do like 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours every Monday. You'll get there. You'll do some
coming home every Friday.
Yeah, Thursday afternoon normally. Yeah. Get back. You know, you go down there. You do train 3 times a day. You know, with bits of like running in the morning. You go up to Brecon. You know yourself, killer. Yeah. You'll do sparring, pads, strength and conditioning. They're quite, you know, they're good on that as well. Yeah. And then they give you different opportunities as well. But being down there for me is. It's good because it's I feel like I'm improving now more than ever. Yeah. Because I'm with the highest level.
You're
amongst high level people.
Your standard or above, and that's where you need to. That's where you need to be. Next week I'm going to a gym up in Liverpool just because where I'm training here I can do really well, but I need to be training alongside other people who are better because that's how I'm going to get better. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. My thing. But yeah, you being down there. Seeing other lads on the pads doing things that you haven't done before, or working with coaches who, you know, just got that bit more knowledge, strength and conditioning. It's just bang on down there.
It's good.
You're only going to come on, aren't you?
Yeah, and the opportunities they give you. Yeah, is, you know, down there. It's even myself. I've been there for a year, and I've already been to Lithuania, Spain. I'm going to Tenerife. I've been to Spain twice this year, just for a literally one for a training camp and one for a tournament. You know, like I am grateful for it. Like it's, you know, for me, I count myself lucky in the fact that I know what I want to do because you get a lot of people who don't know what they want to do, and in a way, I've got it quite easy myself. Go down, I do what I love for a job. Well, it's,
you are living your dream, aren't you?
Yeah, literally. Whereas other people, it's more difficult for. They've got people my age, especially.
You're not lucky though, mate. You've smashed your way to get to that point. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm interrupting you again. I'm terrible, mate. But when something comes into my head, it has to come out or it goes. And I've got ADHD, but whatever. But at the gym, you see like a couple of lads like, Cory gets this. Like Cory is there every day. He's there on his days off. He's there. You don't stop there. No. Do you know what I mean? You don't you don't do the minimum. you go way above, and that's what's got you to where you are. So everything that you get, you well deserved. You know what I mean? And there's more to come. Like, but where do you see yourself going with it?
Well, definitely the aim, 100%. The way I'm going at the moment, like all these opportunities, I've got 3 years until the Commonwealth Games, and if I'm improving the way I have done in the past few months, in the next 3 years, you know yourself, it's literally like you stay straight, you go down a little bit, and you go up, you shoot up, and you keep going, you keep improving. But Commonwealth Games 2026, 100%. I'm hoping to get on medal 100%. I want to be on GB as well. That's another thing. GB in the next few years, because I can be on GB
with the Olympics, you can't go to the Olympics with Wales, obviously. So with Wales, you're only aiming to get to Commonwealth or European Championships and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll go to them anyway.
Wales will enter them.
Yeah, we'll go to them anyway.
Then in the Olympics, that's GB, isn't it?
Yeah, GB. That's where I want to be, but for me, like obviously, I'm not exactly big on waiting around for things, but like if that opportunity comes, then I'll definitely take it, because I want to be on GB, because that's
it's a pinnacle of amateur boxing.
That's what I'm saying. But I obviously eventually want to go pro one day as well. But just keep improving really, and if I, like I say, I'm going back to it, saying it again, if I improve like I have been doing in the past few months, then the sky is the limit.
Oh mate, you had it down last weekend, the weekend before.
Yeah.
For a session, we did some pad work. I used to obviously do a lot of pad work with you at the miler, but that's going back probably about 6 months now.
Yeah, a while ago. Before I was on the elite team.
Yeah. And you were coming on there, weren't you? We were getting you to sit, working on a bit of technique, and it was powered in your shots, but it was good technique. And then when you come last weekend, I was like, shit, something's happened here.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've taken a lot of people on the pads in the time. I love taking people on the pads, but I have big lads who don't bang like you do, because the technique has been drilled in over time, and it's all that technique and the way you were throwing your shots last week. You can see that they've improved your technique, the repetition of throwing the shot in the right.
Without me even realising it though, as well.
Yeah,
it's a massive thing. Like,
but your strength and conditioning there has been big as well, and I can literally feel it in your shots. You know what I mean? There's sharpness, crispness, but a whip to them that is like, God, there's no I from being around you and your mentality and seeing you train, I genuinely believe that like the sky is the limit, and the only thing that'll stop you getting to the top would be yourself if you were to make a decision that, But yeah, I think especially as when you look to turn pro, you got time on your side. For 2026, you're going to be 21.
Yeah.
So even if you stayed for a couple of years after that for the Olympics,
it wouldn't really.
23. Yeah. Then if you're looking to go pro after that, I'm trying to map out your career for you, like an agent, an agency. But if you were to look at then, you're a small weight, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what sort of weight would you be looking at then to go? You're going to fill out a bit more.
Yeah. I think I'll stay for these next 3 years. I think I'll definitely. I can't see myself going much higher. But obviously, like you say, when you do get to like your 20s and that, I think that is you get a bit of
man strength.
Yeah. But to be honest, most of my even my family and that, we all kind of average out at near the same kind of height, of. Obviously.
I mean, as in pros, you're probably looking at sort of lightweight,
just below lightweight,
like sort of bantam.
Depends how much you grow, because I guess you get some people who grow like mad even now.
Yeah.
Like literally, I could grow next month. Like do you know what I mean? But I don't think I'll grow much more, but because I think I'll always be like quite fairly like. But yeah, I'd say, what is it, like feather, lightweight?
Yeah,
somewhere around there, probably. Bantam. Yeah.
Which what I'm saying is that when you're in those lighter weights, you have more chance of getting to sort of a decent level than if you are welterweight, middleweight. Do you know what I mean? Those tend to be like there's less numbers in the lighter weight.
Yeah,
there's less numbers as you go to like sort of welter, middle. Then you're looking at sort of like the average sort of size man then, and there's just more of them. So the lighter your weight is, the more chance you've got. And if you can do well in the amateurs, which I'm sure you can, come out of there we've come out of there with medals. Like now, I know you are, seeking out sponsorship. I think you carry on going where you're going, they're going to be seeking you out. Do you know what I mean? That's where you could turn pro now. People don't realise what boxing. Oh, he's a pro boxer. I could
turn pro now.
I could turn pro now. I haven't boxed for 6 years or something. I could go now and get a pro license and start boxing on pro cards next week and start getting paid. That's just what it is. But it's the difference between being a pro boxer and a very good pro boxer. But if you could stay there, coming out of there as a pro boxer, you're not forced to, make your money off tickets, etc. You can then have somebody come to you and we'll pay you per fight. You can. I don't. It's a long shot because you have to be winning.
It's a while away, but for that, I think for me, you've got to have a bit about for me. Obviously, everyone plays up to the cameras anyway. For me, I'd have to. If I was to go pro, obviously you've got to be a bit louder, a bit more outgoing. Because I'm quite quiet naturally. But once you get me going, I'm talking. Do you know what I mean? But you've got to be you've got to have a bit of something about you. You got like Conor McGregor. He's in MMA, but look how much shit talking he does, and that's why he's so big, really.
You got to be big on social media. Yeah, they all play
I'm quite big on social media, though. I post a lot on social media.
Yeah,
to be fair.
Right. With me with this high rock stuff and that, I'll be seeking sponsorship. But what I'm trying to think of ways that when I turn up, I've got a headband there, a Nike headband. I'll be wearing that. I got a competition in 2 weeks. I'll be wearing that. I almost don't even think. I think it does keep the sweat out of your eyes. But I think it's because we're competing, right? If I'm competing against somebody else who are similar, I'm thinking I need to have something about me that makes me a bit more interesting as a bit of a story than the other person. Then it's the guy in the headband rather than the guy with the black hair.
That's my point.
The guy with the black hair. Yeah. So you can then think of ways. I went to the World Championships. I took my carrier bag. If you remember, I just took a carrier bag with me, council estate mentality. I'm going to keep doing that. All the other lads turn up with a big built flat fleece bag. And then next thing is see that lad who turns up in the carrier bag all the time. Yeah. And he's at a really good level. He's got a carrier bag. If I didn't have that carrier bag, they're not talking about
me. They're not saying because you're just one of them. That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's just another lad with a big suitcase on his back with nothing in it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying with you is
I wouldn't be worried either.
You got time. You're in the amateurs for years, but coming towards the end, look to nothing false because that gets found out.
Yeah, exactly.
If you start trying to walk around like Conor McGregor, they're
Conor McGregor.
But you can create your own bit of a. Cause I think you got loads of energy. You're a nice lad. You come the way you've spoken today much better than me. As you're talking, I was like, shit, man, he's good. You should have a podcast. But
I watch a lot of them. That's why.
Yeah, I know, mate. It's brilliant. But I think you've got just sometimes being yourself.
Yeah.
But we've just with something that stands out.
Yeah.
But I think your boxing will speak for itself anyway.
Yeah, you've got to
be
yourself.
But if you've got another lad as good as you, but you've got something about you that sells tickets or gets people sharing things on social media, the promoter is going to go with that guy. Do you know what I mean? It's more marketable, more easier to promote. But you've got plenty of time for that.
You've got to be yourself though as well. It's the most important thing, because if you start being fake in front of the cameras, and then like you say, you do get found out. You've got these people who for me, I'd get involved in the press conferences when they're shit talking and that. I would get involved in it. I'd love to do all that because I like all that. The fiery face off. I love doing all that stuff. But I wouldn't try and be make myself out to be something I'm not. Do you know what I mean? Because then if you were to lose, obviously the mentality is always to win. But if you were to lose, then you look like even more of a dick then, don't you? Do you know what I mean? And then you've got Chris Eubank.
I was just going to say his name. You don't want people wanting you to lose, but it sells tickets.
That's what I'm saying. It does, doesn't it?
You're selling your soul then for it. Whereas Conor Ben's really allowed Dillian Whyte's just failed a drugs test, hasn't he? Has he? For Anthony Joshua fight next week.
I didn't know that.
Just failed it now.
No way.
I was looking forward to that fight.
People are failing. Colin Ben, he's been proved innocent now.
He has, yeah, but when I say Conor Benn, it just reminds me about Dillian White failing that. I'm gutted. It's probably another dodgy, whatever. But and then we lost track of where we
were. No, we know where we were. What was it? Dillian White. You were speaking about Dillian White?
No, Conor. I was saying about Conor Benn, about him being the way he speaks sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But he is backing it up.
Yeah.
He is backing it up, but he has. And, you know, you've got to be confident in your ability before you start shouting things out. Like, you know, you like I say, what I'm doing is getting carried away, thinking, you can do this, you can do this. I can see that you're sitting there thinking, shut up, I got to go training on Monday.
No.
I go training on Monday. I got my training next week. Should just focus on next week. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do though. Some nights.
But you have to have it in your head where I know where I'm going to be, where I want to be, and a bit of a plan. But yeah, next week's your biggest week. Yeah. Next week's your biggest week.
No, but all the time though, like it's more like you train. You know, you look forward to it. You go to the next training session. But like there are some days where I look at stuff and I think that's like I want to be that. Like that's what I want to be, or I want to do that. Or I want to change this. So even like watching boxers, like their energy and stuff. Like I like Gervonta Davis. Like he's my favorite because he doesn't. I wouldn't say he talks so much. He's aggressive and stuff, but like he shows it. Do you know what I mean? And that's the best thing for me.
I see Crawford last week.
Yeah. Crawford proved a lot of people. I thought Spence was going to win, if I'm honest.
I did. I haven't seen much Crawford previously. I've seen a lot of Spence, and I thought his levels of time and distance. But when you see Crawford making Spence. Like a lot of people watching boxing don't understand why he's so good. Like with Floyd Mayweather, they think, why didn't you just hit him?
Yeah,
it's not as easy as that.
It's it's distance management.
You're looking at like this much distance of like just knowing where that. You can't buy it. You can't almost can't train it. It's got to be something natural in there as well.
There's got to be some of it there, but like for me, when going back to like my style, like I think I always say to people that I don't think I am that talented, because I just think I'm just a workhorse. I just don't stop working, and I think that's what's engraved in my brain is I want to just keep going and train and make myself better. Like obviously you've got to have a little bit of talent and movement of things.
Yeah, you have got talent. Yeah, but you can have a bit of talent and you can improve it. You know.
Yeah, well,
which is what you've done.
Obsession beats talent. That's what they say. That's what I'm saying. I'm obsessed with boxing, so that's how it goes.
It's only going to go well for you, mate. But. Good stuff, mate. Anything else you want to add? I was going to ask you sort of like some shout outs really as to who's helped you along the way, because as you do know, but I know more now from being a parent myself, sort of how much is that people do behind the scenes for you that you might not even know. But you're at an age now where I'm sure you're starting to realise and appreciate it more than anything. Is anyone shout outs really?
Well, definitely 100%. My mum and dad, they help. Obviously, my mentality is another thing. Like my mum, I think, because my mum's quite obsessed with things, workhorse like that. I think that's been engraved in me from my mum. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to get to half the sessions that I have. Like I go traveling.
They're always there.
Always there. Travel with me. My tide. He travels with me. He takes me everywhere. Butch. I think for me, everyone plays a little part to a big part, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like my mum and dad, they live with me. Do you know what I mean? They see how I am before a fight and how how concentrated and focused I have to be. Yeah. And I can be hard work myself sometimes.
We all are.
That's what I'm saying. But
that's a good shout that as well, mate. Because like I am hard work. Yeah. In my head, I know where I want to go. And like I've got to be left alone. I've got to do it. You know what I mean? But it's not easy. Some people don't understand it.
Oh, I can be naggy.
So you got your girlfriend now? Yeah, my girlfriend. They're all supportive, and what your friends like? Your friends are all like supportive.
Yeah, I like to.
I used to get pissed taken out of me. When my generation, if you were doing something like that and not sitting on the corner drinking, you were like
still the same.
You were a gimp. You know what I mean? But it's like, but I think nowadays the more people. Young lads do want to be successful more than before. You know what I mean?
I'd still say this thing is with me. I like a small circle. See, I don't like massive groups. I just think it's more drama, more stress for me. I just want to be focused on one thing and get that done. Do you know what I mean? But it's like you say, it's these days you're weird if you don't go out and drink. That's how it is, isn't it? But personally, I love that. I love that people think, oh, that you're weird. You don't go out. You don't go to clubs. You don't go to festivals. For me, I just think you're weird.
I love it, mate.
That's how I think. Like, oh, you're weird. You literally, for me, what kind of a life is going out every weekend? But that's just my personal opinion. Like, and I see the world differently. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, but for me, like, I just love my time away. I just love eating. You know, like, you got to make weight. I'm naggy there in my house. My mum and dad help me.
You love training. And people say to me, why are you training so? Because I'm like, you don't understand. When I train, like, I can be on that assault bike smashing myself for half an hour or something, but I got like peace in my head when I'm doing that. And that's me relaxing. That's the same as you going sit in a pub, having a chat with your mates or whatever it is. Me doing that is the same. So when I go away on holiday, I'm going away in a few weeks. I'm already planning. I've got a 22 kilo suitcase. I'm planning how much I can get in there. I'm taking the ball ball. I got my route.
Take a medicine ball.
I'm taking that. Yeah, I got my.
See, that's for me. But people would see that as weird.
I got my running routes planned already for where they're at. Literally planned on Strava and that. And people said, "Why don't you relax?" I am relaxing.
Yeah, that's
me relaxing. Yeah, like if I'm sitting by that pool, I'm like this, sitting there stiff, thinking. You know what I mean? People are different, and what is, like, say you're saying that the weird. What is normal? Yeah. And who is right?
I'd say the difference. You know what I mean? Yeah, the difference with that though is like with you're a bit older. I'd say I would argue for me anyway. You might not agree, but I'd say for me, like with younger people, I think, especially my age now, who are just experiencing, they get the IDs and they want to go out and stuff. Like you've got your life, like, do you know what I'm saying? But like younger people, that is the normal thing to do. Like even though
the only thing to do.
And that's what annoys me the most. Is like that is a normal thing to do, and I don't want to be like everyone else, like who goes out and, do you know what I'm saying? It's just I just don't understand
your mentality, mate. And like you just look at the people who used to sort of say things like that to me, still in the same place, And I've had ups and downs and stuff, but you can rise, you can maximize your potential, and then you can come back and spend time with your mates and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you've got to have rest is important though as well. As much as we say, like, I love training and I love to go out, but there's different types of resting. Like a lot of people, I say to my mum, my mum's a big one. Just have a little rest. Why can't you rest? For me personally, I do struggle to rest. That's a big thing for me. It's.
That's why me and you are so similar, mate. Yeah. When I was speaking with you and everything, I thought I've got to get him on because I see so much of myself in you. Like, it's mad. Like, but
it's important to rest. I do struggle to rest. Though on the other hand,
I'm sitting here with a bad back because I've overdone it. My back's
straight myself up as well.
And then I'm like that but all week I'm supposed to be resting. But then I'm like thinking of ways of how I can train. I've been training on the cables, but like really keeping my core really tight. And
Goggins and your head saying who's going to carry the boats.
Yeah. Like I'm like, what am I even doing? I'm not even getting that. But me training is like I need it mentally. If I don't, you know what I mean. So it's more about sort of about the physical. Sometimes it's about
mental. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all you've known since you were younger. It's all I've known since I was like the age I was. So I'm probably never going to change myself. No. Which is what like I don't know whether a lot of people say it to me even now. Like, eventually when you go a bit older, they've been saying it to me for years. When you go a bit older, you will take to it. You'll start going out and that and drinking. No, I don't mind having a drink and stuff like that, but I just feel like that is just what everyone does. And I'd rather just go out and do something, go for a walk or see another country or something. You know what I mean? I'm like an old man in a young person's body, really.
You're like me in a young person, but I've been training since I was like 8. Running around the gaff, but it's like how long ago was that now? That's 28 years, right? And that's you're building these habits for yourself now. They're ingrained in you now, but you're always going to be in shape, and you're always going to be, successful at something. If boxing can be a short career, I'm in my 36 now, so I'm just getting this new career now, something else. So I wouldn't say it's all or nothing with boxing or football or anything. Like, give it your best. That's really what you love now, right? But it's not a case of if I don't do that, then what am I going to do after boxing? Because there's things happening all the time. You can be competitive in this and this. You can get world level. You might end up finding that you get to like be the best in the world at something that you don't even try until you're 30. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like Joshua, isn't it? Anthony, obviously, I'm not going to say that, but you know, at that time, he started boxing. He was like into the Olympics, literally. He started and people say you should start young and stuff, which I agree with. You should, because you should find something you love when you're young, which I have done, which is lucky, really, because some people don't even know what they want to do now.
No,
at my age, some people
might
not
say
even want to do.
Your mum and dad and that for taking you, giving you the opportunities. Like
they paid money.
With my kids, I want to let them try loads of things. There might be something there that they really love. You don't let them try it.
Your kids
they don't even. Sorry.
Your kids love training. I see them.
Yeah. Well, they just see me training. They just do it, don't they? But yeah, they'll.
It's like a role model, though, isn't it? See, like you like their role model.
That's the idea when I built the gym. It's like I'd rather build it, train here, so they can see me, than me just getting in the car, going to a gym, coming home, whether you've been in the gym. In their heads, they can't picture a vision what you've been doing. It's just like, oh, you've been in the gym. They don't even understand what it is. But so anyway, they've lived it, and it's starting to pay off now. 9 years later,
parents.
Harry's just started doing bits of training.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
Coming from a son though, like parents, parents will always be a role model in some ways. So like my mum's a role model because obviously my mum had me quite young. She worked her way through. She literally had me, and she was in uni. You know what I mean? And she pushed her way through, and that's meant that with that mentality of just do it, and that's engraved in me. My dad. Yeah. It's the same with him. Like with everything, you look up to your parents always. For me, and that's how it is. My mum's my role model for me. So is my dad in ways as well. Both of them. You look at them too, and you think, how can I be like them and also better?
So, mate, every generation's supposed to get better, and that's what I want my kids to look at me. If they see any good points,
you are good.
Use them good points, but look at my weak points and improve. And that's what every generation's supposed to get better. Learn from it, but learn from their bad mistakes. Yeah. Right, mate. We talked about who's helped you. We talked about the end goal, really, which is you just. At the minute, you just focus on the Commonwealth Games and the Welsh squad. Yeah. Sponsorship, mate. I know that you're keen. You have help from sponsors at the minute.
Yeah.
Who helps you out?
At the minute, I've got Complete Soft Play, which is Ali and Louise. They're like family friends as well. Know them quite well. They help me out. You've got Lucy. She was like my driver. She's Lucy Davis driving. She like passed me. On my test, you know, she helps me out with like I say they all give something. You've got like Power Zone. They give me like free membership. I can go there, train. You've got.
It doesn't have to be the world. It doesn't have to be like maybe $20,000 a month or something. Just
like
things like that.
Exactly. You got yourself. You help me out with strength and conditioning and stuff, and my strength, which is a massive part at the moment for me as well. Like I say, and you've got like even another small one like Llangollen Barbers, literally to help me out. And they all plays a massive part to like cost of living, you know, and gives their company exposure as well, which is also good, I think. Yeah,
and I think like what people don't realise with, you know, you sort of to do what you do, nutrition, supplements, physio. I know you'll be getting a lot of help with that down there, but you got all your travel, your fuels to get down there. You can't do it on your own, you know what I mean? But it's you need all the help you get. So but I suppose you're always open to more sponsors.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have more sponsors. The more the merrier, you say to me. But I think it's good for me because it gives the company exposure, but also obviously plays two parts. It gives me.
And it's about being loyal to you. I think you know you are going to go places, and I think anyone who jumps on board helping you out now. If you're loyal with them and keep giving them the opportunity to sponsor you as you go down, because you're going to be at a point where you're getting big, you know, decent offers. Like, and you have to always remember these people that are sponsoring you now when they're not getting as much back. You know what I mean? They're not getting much in return, but they're still helping you out. So brilliant, mate. Cory, anything else you want to add?
No, unless you want to answer.
No, mate. I've loved getting you on, and I can't wait to get you back down. We haven't done any pads this weekend because you've had a new tattoo.
I've had a new tattoo. Yeah.
You did want to get it out to show you.
I put it back on. I'm going to drag it back on because I knew I'd get comments about it already.
It's a picture of Butch. It is.
No, it's not.
It's a picture of Butch.
No, it's not.
But yeah, thanks for coming down, mate. And we'll hopefully next weekend we'll get you down on the pads and that.
Yeah, definitely.
And keep improving, mate. So well done, pal.
Yeah,
and
thank you very much.
Nice one. I've got to walk over there now because I can't be asked editing it. You're going to see me do this.